So it looks like the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake has taken a serious turn. Starting to look like a episode of Empire or something that's going on. Let's get into the video.
Let's take you live now to the Bridle Path area where police are updating their investigation just outside Drake's home. Let's listen in live.
Pleased to be here today. I know there's a lot of interest in this incident, and I hope you can also appreciate that information is very limited at this time, so I only have so much. What I do know, I will advise you of, and I will take a few questions at the end. This morning at about 2 a.m., police were called to a shooting at the residence behind me here. When officers arrived, they located a male who was suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. That male was taken to hospital in serious condition. That person was working, apparently, as a security guard at the residence. He was standing outside of the gates in front of the residence when the shooting occurred. We have individuals who obviously performed the shooting who were seen in a vehicle. I do not have a description of the vehicle or the suspects at this time. Again, it's very early on in the investigation. I cannot speak to a motive at this time because it's so early, but as we get information, we will share it with you. Anyone with information is asked to call 416-808-2510 or Crime Stoppers. You can expect to see an increased presence in this neighborhood for the next little while, but it's no different than any other shooting or firearm discharge. We'll have officers here looking for witnesses to come forward, as well as we canvassing for video. I'll now take a few questions.
Is Drake home and is he cooperating with this investigation?
I cannot confirm if Drake was home at the time the incident occurred, but I can tell you that we are in contact with his team and they are cooperating.
To what extent is the rat beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar part of the investigation focus?
So I am aware of what you're talking about, but it is so early in the investigation that we don't have a motive at this time. And so I cannot comment further on that.
Yeah, he obviously couldn't say anything about it. Like the dude said, what is the rap beef? You know, that if that was the motive for this, he's like, yeah, I can't even comment on any of that. Obviously he knows what's going on. I wonder if they're in the office and they have to like look through. They obviously have to listen. Same thing as a Young Thug's trial. It was funny because the lawyers had to listen to all the playback audio tapes, and then the judge was trying not to get all hype with it.
The motive may not be confirmed. If that is something that you're looking at, knowing that this beef crosses borders into the U.S., is there anything being done in the...
It makes it so unprofessional when they say beef. They don't even say like conflict. Know that this intertanglement, I don't know, engagement. They're saying beef, like they're like mentioning the rat beef directly. Shit makes it sound unprofessional as hell.
The investigation to maybe prevent a potential suspect from leaving Canada?
So this is no different than any other investigation, okay? Like, it's maybe more high profile because there's more people here, but we treat it like any other incident. So we'll be using all our resources. Our teams will be doing as much as they can to investigate this, but it'll be no different than any other investigation at this time.
Shot still in serious condition. Have you been able to talk to him? Has he not been able to give you a suspect description? And how is there no video yet of the car that fled?
So I can tell you that all I'm going to say about the victim is that he's still in the hospital in serious condition. And I'm not going to just...
He's not going to say anything about age.
No, I'm not going to at this time.
This is obviously a very well-to-do neighborhood. There's likely a lot of video around. Have you guys begun your canvassing? Do you expect to get a good amount of video involved with this?
I would be surprised if we didn't. I can say that we've already collected some video evidence which captures the incident.
You said suspects plural. Can you say, are we talking 2, 3, or more?
No idea at this time.
And would you characterize this as a drive-by shooting or more specifically a stop and open fire?
I'm not going to get into specifics about the investigation at this time.
Yeah, this is an open case, so he's not going to go super deep dive into. He's not going to tell any specific details, which you know the reporters are going to go because he knows this is a high-profile case. It's going to get blasted over X, especially doing this interview.
Just that a vehicle was involved and then fled the scene.
With law enforcement elsewhere, like Los Angeles and the United States?
That will be part of our investigation, but again, we're very early on.
How did the 911 call come in? Who made it?
I don't have that information.
Yeah.
Was this security guard alone, or were there...
I mean, he's not saying like he's actually not saying anything. I mean, it's all gonna come back because it should be like once they do the investigation, it's gonna be public information as well. So he's not saying shit though.
Other security guards here too?
I don't have that information.
In the incident, did it look like the security guard was the target? Were they trying to get past him?
Don't know at this time.
You said you have video capturing the incident?
Say
Yes.
something.
The actual shooting?
Yes.
And you can't give us a description of the vehicle?
Nope. Not.
Even the reporters are like, "What the like, dude? Like, give us something!" Like, holy shit, we're trying to write story headlines here. You know what? Screw it. We'll just wait till the next rap song comes out. Then it'll be all detailed anyway.
At this time.
Because you don't want to release it?
No, because we're
she's
dealing
getting
with video
attitude.
quality issues, correct? So we,
Getting
as we have
attitude.
information and we're able to analyze video better, then we'll be able to provide more information.
You mentioned that the shooting occurred outside the gates, but there are markers inside near a garage, and there's an area cordoned off there. Would shell casings have gone that
Uh-oh.
far? Why would that be?
I haven't even walked up to the scene, so I can't comment.
The reporters are better
Oh,
detectives
thank you.
now.
Do we know how many shots were fired?
No, that's going to be part of the investigation. Can't comment at this time. Thank you very much.
Gang related?
That concludes today's conference. No problem, I can do that. That concludes today's conference. Thank you for attending. Paul Krufchuk, the spelling is Paul, and the last name is K.
That detective was on the no snitch policy. He's not saying anything. Obviously, it's an ongoing investigation, especially fresh and high profile. He's not going to say shit because then the lawyers are going to come in and then they're going to need all that information for the investigation that's going to come up. So it makes sense. It's just funny that the reporters are pushing so much. They're just clawing for that information, trying to get something to bite off of.
All right, we continue to follow breaking news from the Bridle Path neighborhood this morning, where Toronto police just updated their investigation at Drake's home. Police tell us they acknowledge the amount of public interest around this story. Several questions remaining at this time. 2 a.m., that is when police got the call about a shooting just outside the home. That is where they found.
It's just crazy because like on Kendrick's, the song, like I guess the song cover is Drake's house. So it's like, ugh, that's kind of iffy there.
A male suffering from gunshot wounds. He was taken to hospital with serious injuries. Toronto police now confirming that male was working at as a security guard outside the home. Police also saying the suspects were seen in a vehicle. They cannot speak to a motive. They cannot confirm if Drake was home at the time as well. Our CB24's Courtney Heels is following the story very closely, and she joins us live from outside Drake's home with the very latest. Courtney.
And Lena, we just heard from police acknowledging there is a lot of interest in this shooting investigation that they're looking into at this time. As you say, still a lot of questions. We don't know if Drake was home. We also don't know the motive. Officers saying they're treating this like any other investigation right now. Also acknowledging they do have video of this incident. They know there's a vehicle involved for the suspect or suspects who fired at the security guard. What we learned, the security guard standing outside of the home, Drake's home, just outside of the gates. This individual injured as a result.
So it seems like the security guard that was working for Drake's and his mansion in Toronto was seriously injured and they was taken to a hospital. But the real thing is, so they know that the car was there. Is the car American or is the car Canadian? That's going to really take this case somewhere because then it's an international incident. And it's like you came over the border to try to murder somebody. That's going to be taken, I think, a little bit more seriously. That's why that one reporter was asking, like, but he made it sound so unserious, though. He's like, what if this beef is international? Like, dude, stop, like, what? You're at work. You can't be calling it a rat beef.
Result of the shooting, rushed to hospital. He is still in hospital with what are described as serious injuries, and police, of course, will be speaking with that investigator. But there's a lot they're still not saying. What we did hear, they say that members of Drake's team cooperating with the team who are looking here into exactly what unfolded. And again, they'll be going over that surveillance video. Obviously, we have some questions for police on what they were able to describe, why they aren't able to describe the vehicle, for example, involved in this. They just aren't sharing that right now because they're going over the quality of that that video and seeing what else they can share. But a pretty significant update in the sense where, Lena, you mentioned this. We now know it was a security guard standing outside of Drake's home who was shot at. This was at about 2 o'clock in the morning. And for anybody just joining us now, this is the Bridle Path area. This is Park Lane Circle. This is the street Drake lives on just behind me here. That's his home. There's still...
I mean, he's already doxxed, obviously, right? But damn. That's like full doxxed. Like the street right here. Then if you come down this way, Drake's house is right here. There's an open fence on this side. You can just get into his house. It's open. The security guard was on the left side, so the right side is open. If you look right here, like holy shit, stop. Like, damn, I know he's already doxxed, but as you dude said, it was a high profile case. Can you shut up a little bit? Now, she's talking too much, but the dude wasn't talking at all. It's a balance. All things in life have balance.
Still a lot of officers behind me here and a really significant police presence, not only just out on the street, but also in the courtyard area where there is a lot of yellow police tape inside and officers. The officer we just heard from unable to speak to what they're doing on the property. But again, we know members of Drake's team working with police on this and that it was a security guard who was injured seriously as a result of the shooting. For motive, still questions on that. They're not speculating. They obviously knew we had questions about this back and forth, this beef that's been going on with another very well-known rap artist, Kendrick Lamar, asked if there's any influence here, anything to suggest there's a connection. They say they don't know and they're not saying anything on that just yet. So we'll have to wait and see if there is anything further to add to this. But
do you think it's because it's all like millennial reporters, right? That they keep saying, like when they say altercation, I don't know. Put down in the comments. Tell me what you think. I just think it's so funny every time I hear it because it just makes it sound so... like we're in the episode of The Empire right now. This is Tupac and Biggie fighting over here. Freaking, yeah.
Pretty concerning for anybody who lives around here. And still, we don't know if Drake was home when this happened. So we'll see if maybe more information becomes available on that front, Lena.
Absolutely. And it is really important to note, Courtney, that investigators say they have video of the incident. They're not releasing that to the public at this time. And they're also not saying much about the suspects they're looking for. But they do have video.
Of course.
Yeah.
You could say if they're American
there was the
or
question,
Canadian,
you say you have video of this incident. They're really not saying much. In fact, there was even a question, so was this a drive-by? It certainly sounds like it. You've got a suspect vehicle involved in this, one person or a couple of individuals, and the fact that the person was outside. They're just not getting into the specifics of that. And they also say they're still going over some of that video, I'd imagine, to ensure they get the best quality video, maybe identify more on the vehicle involved. We don't have any description on that, Lena. We don't have a color, make, even a direction for that matter. We just know this all happened at 2 in the morning. It would have been quiet in this neighborhood at that time. And what we're showing with you now on your screen, this is the video we captured from Chopper 24 when investigators were in the courtyard area, the front property of Drake's home. And now what we know, of course, this shooting happened just outside of the gates. You can actually kind of see that from where I am. It is a little difficult to make that out, Lena. And I say that because we are only able to get so close and they've blocked off the street. And there's a lot of press here, of course, too. This is a big story. A lot of people curious about it and want to.
So looks like they're not really giving that much information. Obviously, it's an ongoing investigation. This is fresh off the press. It makes it seem like this rap beef, it doesn't make it seem like this rap beef has now gotten serious. It is now elevated to higher levels. Stay on the lookout for what's to come. The next, all these diss songs now, this beef that the reporters keep saying, you know, that's all going to get like courts now. It's going to be pulled now, subpoenaed. I want everybody that's been part of this beef this whole time, all these songs, everybody that's a part of these songs, who's in this engagement. This is crazy, guys. This is tell me if you think it's like Tupac Biggie levels, where people are starting to fire shots, actual shots now, not just lyrics, actual shots. This is crazy. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.